Hi, this is Karen Thrall. Welcome to the Don't Lose podcast. We're in episode 3. Thank you to the grassroots listeners who are starting this journey with me. We're going to get to see how it evolves and what it becomes. Very excited about this. Don't Lose is about storytelling and storytelling that has meaning, that are lessons that we can draw from, inspiration we can draw from. So every week there's a story. Today I am sitting on the beach of Cultus Lake, British Columbia. And we're staying not too far from it. And I thought, I have got to drive there and I've got to do the episode here because I have so many fun memories here. Episode 3, Don't Lose Your Love for Detours. There's 4 things that I want to talk about in this episode about detours. And the first one, I'm going to start with a story. I was 14 years old. There's 3 distinct memories I have at that age. The first one was I would spin the globe with my eyes closed and I would stop it with my finger and then I'd open my eyes and I'd go, that's where I'm going next. Okay, so put a pin in that. Second one, I'm in math class and I saw someone do this and I was really inspired by it and I wanted to do it as well. I wanted to try it. And isn't that the way inspiration is? When we see somebody else doing something and it inspires us, it resonates. And that is the permission or the feeling, I'd like to do that too. And what I did is I take out a piece of paper and I draw these little icon images describing my friends. And I would put these little pictures on it that I drew and say, this is your personality, this is who you are. And they loved it. And I did one after another. I think I did like 15 of them, where I wrote and drew how I saw them. Put a pin in that. The third memory I have, oh boy, this one, every day I thought about it. That I was an executive in the fashion industry. I knew what car I was driving. I knew what my office looked like. Wanted this so badly. And in my friends, I had wonderful friends in high school, and 2 of them are Letta and Lena. Lena was a fashion designer at a young age. She had her clothes in boutique stores in Montreal. And she had the most amazing designs. She did also this tie-dye design that was so unique, not like you see, not like traditionally how you see it. And her clothes were again on runways. She was really going somewhere. And she designed me 2 dresses that I absolutely loved. I wore them all the time. Her sister Letta, and they're 9 months apart. They were in the same grade. Letta was an international model at 14. She was on the Vogue cover in Europe, and she was on fashion magazines, 14 years old. And so I was around this. They introduced me to this world of GQ and Elle and Vogue and Cosmopolitan and all these things. And that business side of me was waking up. So why am I saying that? Those 3 pins at 14 did not happen until I was in my 40s. That detour from 14 to 40s was full of adventures, full of stories, full of disappointments and pain and everything that comes with your life. And I still saw those dreams come true. The detour of my life did not stop who I was at 14. Those desires I had at 14 were mine. They weren't parented in me. They weren't programmed in me. They weren't developed in me. They were mine. They were uniquely mine. And the coolest thing, about 16 years ago, everything opened up. My first thing about detours, you don't know what tomorrow brings. You don't know. If what you are thinking for yourself is who you are, don't lose it. Love the detour, but don't lose yourself in the detour. So important. Second story, I was driving on the mountains and I had exited. And when it was time to get back on the highway, I took the wrong exit. And I realized while I was driving, I'm like, oh no, I'm going the wrong way. No big deal. I'll just turn around. Well, it's mountain. So exits don't always have on-ramps. They have exit ramps because they're small towns or they're country roads. And so I had to drive quite a while until I got to an exit where I could take an on-ramp back onto the highway. Not only that, when I found that exit, turned around, got back on the highway, going in the right direction, it was one lane traffic, bumper to bumper, because there was construction going on. And I found this heat rising up in me, and I became angry with myself. I was mad at myself for putting myself in this situation. This little hiccup was about 30 minutes. Why I'm telling you that is because why did I get angry with myself? Because I had a plan. And I was mad at myself for thwarting the plan. No. Plans are just plans. And I remember in the first 10 minutes of this heat rising up in me, I had to coach myself into realizing what I was feeling wasn't necessary. And as I calmed down and I realized that it's okay, it's just a plan. And I think what happens to us is detours remind us we are not in control of our plans. Plans are in pencil, not in ink. And when you make a plan with pencil, you're going to enjoy it way more than when you absolutely must do the plan the way you think you should. Because we do not know what tomorrow holds. We do not know what surprises or unexpected things will come our way. And in that moment, I went, yeah, detours remind us to do everything with a pencil and eraser, not an ink. The third story I want to talk about is I'm not good with directions and I can get lost super easily. And those who know me can vouch for this. I'm terrible. So if I'm in the car with you, do not ask me if you should go left or right. And what is pretty consistent is if I go, you need to go left here, I'm wrong. Okay. Like I'm like 99% wrong. I cannot give directions to people. So when Corey and I are driving, it's pretty normal that I'm going to go the wrong way, that I'm going to give the wrong directions and do the wrong turn and miss an exit. And what we do together is we always say, it's okay, it's an adventure. And every time we take a turn, and hear me out, I said every time, I didn't say when or if. Every time we take a turn, we go, oh, look, an adventure. We're on an adventure. And it all of a sudden, that wrong turn is fun. The other thing we say all the time is, we've never been on this road before. Oh, look, something new. And it's something I really cherish when we travel. And I always love it because it allows you and it all of a sudden it invites you to see, to look around, to enjoy, to notice what you've never seen or noticed before. And when you go on detours, it's not that you've lost your way. It's just an interruption to where you're going. And that's life. And when you have an interruption, what can you see that you would have never seen before? What adventure is waiting for you that you never would have happened if you didn't take the detour? It's a perspective shift on detours. And I've noticed over the years that we've been together, I love our detours because they are part of our story and part of our road trips. The fourth story I want to share with you is I'm in Paris with my really good friend Laura, and we travel really well together. And the first day we were in Paris, we did all walking. The second day, we rent bicycles all day long, and we just cycle all throughout Paris. It's wonderful. And what you see when you walk is not what you see when you ride a bike. It's different. The details are sharper, cleaner, newer, fresh. And what I love about riding bicycles is you find yourself in places you don't even know existed. And in our days that we're traveling throughout Paris, we did not know where we were going most of the time, which I love. It feeds the nomad in me. One day we decided to rent a car and we venture outside of Paris and we go to Nantes. And on a side note, there is a really great crepe restaurant in Nantes, but not for today. That's not this episode, but boy, is it good. And there's a whole story behind that one. When we get back to Paris, it's late at night, it's dark, and we need to put gas in the car to drop off the rental car. And I'm the navigator, and as I told you, terrible with navigating. I am trying to figure out where the gas station is on my GPS. What should have taken 10 minutes took us an hour and a half. So now it's getting closer to 11. And what I didn't know about Paris is that it's just a standalone pump. It's not a gas station. It stands between buildings. And I was looking for buildings and I kept missing my turns. And in all that, we were getting lost and lost and lost and lost. And there's a whole story there. And Laura was incredibly patient with me, knowing that I'm terrible with directions. But as we're roaming and we're driving and we're trying to figure out the gas station, and I'm noticing this and that while I'm trying to figure out, I'm completely getting distracted over and over again. We hear a bump, 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 bump. And we hear honking. And Laura goes, what was that bump? Why are they honking? And I went, very relaxed. I say, oh, you drove through the roundabout. Not even flinching, not even anything. And it was just so lackadaisical. Oh, yeah, it's because you drove through the roundabout instead of around it. That memory of us just having these crazy girls in downtown Paris with a rental car is one of our favorite memories. Detours and rerouting and roadblocks, they become some of your best memories. And you can have a roadblock in the moment. It may be a little weird, but over time it becomes a very endearing memory because that roadblock creates a story that you learn from. Don't lose your love for detours. A detour does not mean you're not going to get to that place you want to get to. You don't know what tomorrow holds. A detour welcomes you to have an adventure and to see things with fresh eyes and new perspectives, to see things you've never seen before. A detour will be one of your favorite memories because it doesn't define you. You don't lose who you are in detours. For example, let's say you've always wanted to be a writer, and when you were little, you wrote essays and essays and stories and stories. That's pure. That is who you are. And if you're going, oh, I need to write a book, and you never do, it's just a detour. And if that is something that is truly who you are, you're not going to lose it. You're not going to lose it. And the pressure we put, because we put plans on our lives that are in ink. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, it's going to be by this date, it's going to be that. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. What I am proposing, if you have those plans in pencil, it gives you the invitation to maybe see beyond the plan, to see more than what the plan is showing you. The last thing I want to say is sometimes detours are there to change your path. Sometimes you get on a detour and you get rerouted and it's better than you imagined. Sometimes detours are kind, very kind, because they help us reroute properly. So don't lose your love for detours. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you at the next episode. Please follow me on Instagram and YouTube. My tag is Karen Thrall Inc., and you can find me on any of your favorite podcast channels. See you next week.